After Toy Story 1, Pixar made A Bug's Life and then immediately started working on Toy Story 2. Yes, with their first try, they already made something so special, it became their flagship franchise. And companies usually do everything with their flagship franchise. Movies, shows, games, books, comics, and all sorts of wild ideas. And yeah, Toy Story has all of those. Comics used to be one of the first things companies would make as a tie-in to their animated movies. And comics had always been relatively obscure. There is a chance that you didn't even know Toy Story had comics. And neither did I. If I didn't want to do a Toy Story franchise retrospective, I probably wouldn't have realized there are Toy Story comics. One of the themes of this channel is that I cover everything, both the well-known stuff and the obscure stuff, and I like to keep it that way. Finding stuff that I didn't even know they existed is so fascinating to me, and they have a weird charm. I have talked about obscure comics before. People who has watched my Lion King comics videos know. While covering Lion King, I decided to tackle the comics in multiple parts because the tone of Lion King projects can be very different from each other. And also because I knew all the Lion King comics were documented and organized on the related fandom wiki. Something that I cannot say for Toy Story. Nothing against other fan bases. I know all fandoms are talented, but the Lion King one is a head and neck above most of them. They made my job much easier, but this time I had to do it myself. All the information about Toy Story comics are scattered all over the internet. So this time I will cover all the comics in one video, so that all of them would be documented in one place for ease of access. And also this method would prevent disasters. As for the Lion King comics, half of them didn't even get their individual videos because of the lack of time, and I ended up talking about them for the first time in the compilation video. And that was when I realized for some of them I didn't even have enough things to say to justify their individual video. It would be much simpler if I talked about all of them in one video. So yeah, one video that covers all Toy Story comics in chronological order. But note that since I had to research for myself to find these comics, I will probably make mistakes here and there because I am just one guy. So if there was any Toy Story comics that I didn't include in this video, feel free to mention it in the comment section below. Years before MCU becoming one of Disney's many branches, Marvel and Disney would collaborate more than a few times. During the Disney Renaissance, Marvel would publish comics based on Disney titles like The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. Some were comic adaptations of the movies and some were small but original stories. Those individual comics would get cancelled, so instead Disney and Marvel created the Disney Comic Hits lineup so that they would continue the comics under one single umbrella and also reprint those older comics. Few of the Lion King comics I talked before come from this comic series, but this series was also short-lived. It only ran for 16 issues from October 1995 through January 1997. In each issue we would see multiple short stories based on various Disney titles, and sometimes we would see one big story about a single Disney thing. Issues 4, 5, 9 and 15 has Toy Story stories in them, because even from the beginning Disney owned Toy Story. It wasn't just after buying Pixar. So yeah, let's have a look at them. Issue 4 is the comic adaptation of Toy Story 1. And I thought the Lion King one was lazy. This one is literally screenshots from the movie with speech bubbles on top of it. In issue 5, it isn't even a comic strip, it is just 2 pages of text telling a pathetically small story. Andy is going to have a sleepover and the toys wonder which toy will Andy take with himself. That's it, that was the entire story. Issue 9 is an actual comic called Prisoner of Andy's Attic. Andy's family have just moved in their new home. Maybe it is even before the final scene of Toy Story 1 when it was Christmas. Andy's mom wants to go to a store and Andy goes with her. Woody and Buzz are in the attic room and they hear someone's cry for help. They assume it is a toy, so with the help of the other toys they reach the sound and realize that it is not a toy but actually a bird. And apparently toys and birds easily talk to each other in this world. The bird was trapped and the toys will set it free. Issue 15's story is called Toys Alone. And you probably guessed from the name that it is a Home Alone parody. A burglar has entered Andy's home when the humans are away. So it is up to the toys to stop the burglar without revealing their sentience. They will set traps for the guy and in the end, all the toys one by one jump on his head until he is knocked out. Then Andy's family enter the house and are shocked. It has another story in which Andy sits on his bed when he is covered in mud, so his blanket is dirty now. Andy tries to wash it himself and it results in disaster. In 1990, Disney would start the Disney Adventure magazine lineup, which was an edutainment magazine for kids and early teenagers. Slowly the education side of it would vanish and it would focus more and more on advertisements until in 2007 that it got cancelled. It focused on non-Disney stuff as well, which resulted in some interesting covers. My favorites being the one with Jafar and Darth Vader having a duel and the one with Disney princesses being around James Bond. It had educational pieces, entertainment news, interactive sections, and of course comics. It would be published on a monthly basis. Many readers fondly remember the magazine's blend of useful tidbits, comics, and culturally relevant content. So much that it is still collected and traded by fans today. It also had Toy Story comics, but I couldn't find all of them. I would check all the issues one by one if I could, but there are like 200 issues of it and not all of them can be easily found. I checked out the ones I could and only found one notable Toy Story comic from it, but I am sure there's more. So if anyone used to collect these magazines or knows more about them, feel free to mention it in the comment section below. This comic is from volume 7 number 1, which was released in November 1996. It is called Pop and Circumstance. In it, Andy has gotten a new puppy named Speck, who is unintentionally annoying the toys. Buzz tries to tame it and fails. The puppy bothers a postman who refers to himself as world's oldest paper boy. So he picks up Buzz from the floor and throws him so that the puppy would follow Buzz. Buzz lands on tar and gets stuck. Andy isn't home, so it is up to Woody to save Buzz. With a rope, he will ride the puppy to reach Buzz and save him. But a big tomcat attacks the puppy. The puppy gets jump scared, so Woody falls off and also gets stuck in the tar next to Buzz. Buzz tells Woody, "Noble of you to stick with me like this, Sheriff." And Woody answers, "It's not you I'm stuck to." The puppy gets lucky and accidentally knocks out the cat using the rope. The puppy barks so that a family in a van just next to the tar would hear it and help Woody and Buzz, but they ignore it. When the van moves, Woody and Buzz grab one of its wheels, and when the van moves forward, they become free. After that, the puppy would behave well. Sometimes with a rope, the toys would use the puppy as a back rider, which would be a bonding moment for the puppy and the toys. In issue 1, called Mysterious Stranger, Andy will put a robotic looking egg in his room before leaving the house. The toys try to figure out what Andy's new toy is. Rex is paranoid about it and he manages to make some other toys paranoid as well. He suggests giving this egg to Sid, which is a continuity error, because Buzz now knows he is a toy, which means it happens after Toy Story 1, when Sid isn't their neighbor anymore. Woody and Buzz tell them not to worry about it, but later the other toys will try to get rid of it. Thanks to Woody, Buzz, Bo Peep and Slinky, the egg is saved. They once again tell Rex and others that they can't be afraid of someone simply because they don't know them, and this time they snap out of it. Then Andy comes back and turns out that this egg was actually an air refresher. In issue 2 called Weird Science, Andy creates a robot toy for a fair. Rex accidentally breaks its handle and Andy's mother takes the robot to the fair, not knowing that it is broken now. The fair starts tomorrow, so the toys have to enter the fair at night to put the handle back to where it belongs to fix the robot. Woody, Buzz, Rex, Bo Peep and Ham are the ones to go. They will sit on a skateboard and Woody will grab Andy's mother's car with a rope to reach the fair. A watchman finds the toys and puts them in the lost and found box. The toys reach Andy's robot, but the watchman suspects that someone has entered the building. So Ham pretends to be a toy that mimics what people in front of him says, and like that he makes the watchman go away. The toys will fix the robot and go back home. Also in it, Ham mentions how unfair it is to hide their sentience. In issue 3, called A Dog's Life, we have a much bigger continuity error. Buster, Andy's dog, was always shown to be cool with the toys and was there before Buzz. But here, in a story after Toy Story 1, they act as if Andy has just gotten Buster and he wants to reveal their sentience to Andy. One day that Andy was sick and couldn't take Buster out, Woody will open the door for him and that's how they become friends. In issue 4, called No Time for Sergeants, one of the soldiers fall into Andy's backpack and he accidentally takes him to school. Sarge, the leader of the soldiers, says that he wants to reveal their sentience to Andy so that he would take better care of them. It takes many shenanigans until Woody finally manages to change his mind. And Woody had some interesting things to say. He says that by being a toy, they can have a different role each day and have different adventures. But if Andy knew they were sentient, then they wouldn't have a variety of imaginative stories anymore. In issue 0, Andy's grandmother gifts him with another Buzz Lightyear. Andy will trade it with another toy. The new Buzz comes out of the package. Old Buzz tells new Buzz he should get back to his package. But new Buzz says he is newer, so old Buzz is the one that will be traded. They fight and in the end, new Buzz puts old Buzz in the package and pretends to be old Buzz. In issue 1, the toys realize it, so they will tie him up. The toys will drive the car to reach the toy store. When they reach a section full of Buzz Lightyear variants, the Lightyears attack them. In issue 2, our heroes fight the Buzz variants. They are slowly losing until their Buzz shows up. Then the Ambassador variant of Buzz shows up and tells the rest to get back to their packages. He knows they are all toys. The new Buzz also knew it. He wanted to replace the old Buzz because he had been returned to the store too many times. Ambassador Buzz tells him that he knows his pain because as a rare collector's item, he would hide in mourning so that maybe one day in an afternoon, a child who would actually play with him buys him. He sets a race so that the winner can go to Andy. The new Buzz tries to win through cheating. In issue 3, old Buzz wins despite new Buzz cheating. New Buzz will feel bad for cheating, so he will sacrifice himself so that Andy's toys can go back home. New Buzz survives, but his body gets badly damaged. He thinks that now he is doomed, but later a kid buys him because he believes that a battle-scarred Buzz Lightyear is much cooler. In issue 4, after Buzz saving the day in Andy's game, Bo Peep wants to give him a friendly kiss. Woody thinks it is a romantic one, so he tells Bo Peep that this was just a game and nobody saved anything. Somehow the toys start a competition so that the winner would get a kiss from Bo Peep, who understandably doesn't like being a prize to be won. Also, Mr. Potato Head competes in the competition despite being married. In issue 5, Buzz wins the competition. Woody tells Bo Peep that he did this whole thing because he is nowhere near as much of a hero as Andy thinks he is, and he was trying to prove his heroism to himself. Bo Peep will give the friendly kiss to Buzz, then she would give the romantic kiss to Woody. She tells him that she never kissed him for saving her ship. She always kissed him because she loves him. In issue 6, Andy goes to a dinosaur museum and Rex thinks he is going to buy a new dinosaur, so some toys sneak into his backpack to prevent it. In issue 7, the toys tell scariest stories. Okay, before it gets more complicated, let me give you a small timeline. First, we had Disney comic hits in 1995, then Disney Adventures magazine in 1996 up until 2007 or something. Then when that gets cancelled, Disney will give the comic license of Toy Story to Boom Studio, which had made a good name creating original comics and adaptations of existing IPs. They will publish a 4-issue Toy Story miniseries to test the ground, and after that they would start an ongoing series, but it would get cancelled after 8 issues, and they would start over in 2010 with a new ongoing Toy Story comic series called Tales from the Toy Chest. Its first arc was called Toy Overboard, which included 4 issues, but after that it would get cancelled, so another quote-unquote ongoing series that didn't even reach 10 issues. Then Disney would give Toy Story's comic license back to Marvel, so in 2012 we had another Toy Story comic, which was again named Tales from the Toy Chest. To prevent confusion, I will refer to the Boom Studio version as Toy Overboard. The toys realize that Andy is going on a cruise ship and he will take a few toys with himself. Some toys like Rex are worried because they don't want to go on the cruise. Some toys like Jessie are excited. She wants to make sure Andy will pick her, so she asks for advice from other toys, but none of them have a good one. She tries to be on floor at a very obvious place, but Andy's mom unknowingly puts a bunch of heavy luggage on her. Andy keeps looking for Jessie and Bullseye, but can't find them, so he won't pick them. But he forgot to pick up his homework, so he comes back to his room and sees Jessie and Bullseye and picks them up. He won't put them in the suitcase though, meaning they are the only toys who had a nice flight. Meanwhile, others are under pressure in the suitcase until they reach the place. Andy will sometimes bring them out, but not always. So Jessie makes others follow her outside when Andy is out without them, which wasn't a good idea because she and Buzz will fall outside of the ship and into the water. The shark toy jumps into water to help them. They are safe, but the ship is moving too fast for them. The other toys try to stop the ship, but they are caught and are put in a lost and found box. An actual shark attacks Jessie, Buzz and Mr. Shark. While they are dealing with it, on the ship Andy's mom has gotten seasick and a doctor is checking on her. Buzz shoots laser at the shark's eye, so it runs away. Then they will follow the stars. The next day they reach the ship, but their room is empty because Andy's family are leaving. They enter a taxi and start moving, so Jessie, Buzz and Mr. Shark grab onto a car to reach the rest. In issue 1 called Master Woody, Buster is playing rough with the toys and they try and fail at avoiding him multiple times. So Woody tries to make Buster obey him as a dog would obey a human. He fails at the first few attempts, but when he tries playing with Buster, it works, and from that day Buster would play nice with the toys. Issue 2, called A Scary Night, is actually a remake of issue 7 of Boom Studio's follow-up run. In issue 3, called To the Attic, Woody, Buzz, Slinky, and Rex were in a box with magazines in it when Andy left the house. His mom enters the room and puts that box in the attic, not knowing some toys are in it. So the toys have to find a way to go back to Andy's room. Eventually they will find out that both the window of the attic and the window of Andy's room are open, so with the help of Slinky, they will climb up to the attic's window and then climb down to Andy's room's window in order to get back to the other toys. In issue 4, called Water Rescue, Andy has taken Woody, Buzz, and Jesse to a summer camp. He will leave his tent without the toys to go blueberry picking. Jesse wants to go out and explore on their own using a map Andy has in his backpack. Woody tells them to be careful with the map because it matters a lot to Andy. But the wind will take away the map, so they have to find a way to get back the map and go back to the tent. Buzz suggests climbing the tent and then fall with soil to the other side of the river to get the map. Woody says by doing so, he can't get back to the tent. Jesse suggests swimming, but Woody says the map will get wet. Woody finds a board and suggests using it as a boat. Jesse and Buzz agree and do as Woody suggests. After a little bit of sailing, a fish approaches them. They fear that it might eat them, but the fish just passes them by. Then they will reach the other side of the river where the map has landed on. It is on top of a bunch of rocks that are so slippery they can't climb them. Jesse says if only Slinky was here, which gives Woody an idea. He tells Jesse to hold his ring while he grabs the grass to go up. He gets the map, but it gets windy again. Thanks to Jesse holding his ring, Woody and the map are safe. They will sail back to the tent with the map. Then Andy enters the tent with the blueberries and tells the toys that next time he will take them with him. In 2019, Dark Horse published a 2-volume Toy Story graphic novel that is full of Toy Story comic strips. It also includes a reprint of Marvel's 2012 Toy Story comics, which makes me believe that at least most of these comic strips are reprints, but I am not sure from where. There was apparently a Toy Story magazine that had many Toy Story comic strips, which could be the source. Some of them could also be from the Disney Adventure magazines, and some of them could be from many one-shot stories from all over the place. And that actually is a good thing. Dark Horse may have saved all the Toy Story comic strips from becoming lost media. I would love to see something like this for other Disney comics. Lion King is one that definitely needs it. But maybe all the comic strips are original, I don't know. So yeah, we have many Toy Story comic strips to look at, so lightning round. In Ham's Western Adventure, Ham thinks Andy will make him the cowboy if he wears Woody's hat. It didn't work. In Dino Scare, Buzz is teaching Rex to become scary. Rex roars in the mirror and gets scared of his own reflection. In Vacuum Cleaner Blues, Sark ends up in the vacuum cleaner when Andy's mom is cleaning the room, so the rest have to save him. In Kung Fu Cowboy, Andy reads a Kung Fu comic, so Woody dreams about being a Kung Fu cowboy. When he wakes up, Rex is in danger. Woody tries to save him using Kung Fu but fails. Bo Peep convinces Woody to be himself, so he used cowboy moves to save Rex. In Cuddles Anyone, Bullseye is jealous of Buster for being cuddled by Woody, so Woody pets Buster and Bullseye at the same time. In Woody's star, Woody is looking for his star. He falls down, and when stars rotate around his head cartoonishly, he says, "Now I see lots of stars." In Surprise Rodeo, a piranha plant tries to eat Jesse. Slinky tickles it so it would let go of Jesse. In Where Are Buzz and Jesse are nowhere to be found. Others look for them, believing they are in trouble, but turns out that they were just taking a motorboat ride in the bathroom. In Front Yard Adventure, Buzz falls out of the window and a lizard attacks him. Rex also falls down and accidentally scares off the lizard. In a thorny rescue, a paper falls out of window and Woody and Buzz have to take it back. In H's practical joke, Jessie asks H to draw her. H, as a joke, draws her scarily. In The Coast is Clear, the toys slide down the stair fence. In It's Party Time, the other toys do a surprise party for Woody. In The Mysterious Treasure, Woody and Jessie try to find a treasure using a map. In Monster in the Drawer, Rex says there's a monster in the drawer, but it actually was just Andy's MP3 player. In An Afternoon with Zurg, in Andy's play Rex is Zurg, and shenanigans happen. In Space Station Hijinks, Andy's mom gifts Andy with a Space Ranger base that has enough room for all the toys. Some of them enter it and wear Space Ranger clothes that were in it and pretend to be Buzz. In Scary Tale, Ham is telling a horror story, and in the middle of it Rex manages to scare the other toys. In Lasso Boomerang, Jessie uses rubber band to make a lasso, which makes anything she catches to get over where she is. In Let's Go to the Movies, Woody tries to tell others how a movie ends through a stage play, but things go wrong. Up until now, the comic strips were about Toy Story 1 and 2, and the rest are about Toy Story 3. And there is too many of them, and they become too childish. I tried going through them, but I was feeling my brain was melting, so I will skip to the end of it that has Toy Story 4 comic strips. In Winners Who Win by Winning, Ducky and Bunny are waiting on the wall so that a winner would pick them up, but it never happens. In Morning Routine, Duke Kaboom does a bunch of tricks. In Quicksand Box, some toys help Bo Peep save her ship from quicksand. The Long Road is during that scene in Toy Story 4 where Woody and Forky are walking in the road. Forky keeps mentally torturing Woody by asking questions. Now a single big Toy Story that is a prequel and midquel to Toy Story 4. Woody, Bo Peep and the other lost toys race each other. Then they start telling stories. Ducky and Bunny tell the story of a dragon doll and a determined girl who won her. Duke Kaboom says he used to be very delusional and was living in a fantasy. But one day a warrior toy snapped him out of it. They decided to leave the backyard and go out explore the world. When he made the warrior toy find a new owner, he felt like a hero. Then Bo Peep says she was in a store for a long time. She feared that she might be just thrown away one day, so she decided to leave the store and explore the world, and that's how she transformed into the Bo Peep from Toy Story 4. Then they will go to a hospital so that sick or disabled kids could play with them. Some toys decide to stay there. So was that it? Well, there are a few more, but from my understanding, they are just adaptations of the movies and the Buzz Lightyear TV show episodes. But again, as I said, I feel I have left out a few. So what are my thoughts on the Toy Story comics? Well, not much really. My life could go on without them. I don't think they have any significant or even small influence on the franchise or someone's opinion on the series. My comparison might be biased and unfair, but let's compare them to the other obscure comics I have covered before. All the Lion King comics aren't anything special either, but some of them have huge influence on the fan base. Some added new characters to the franchise that fans have written countless stories about them, and some opened way for new discussions in the fandom. They did expand the universe disregarding the quality of them. Or the 2010 God of War comic that is one of my favorite projects in its series because of having a great story and exploring its world and its characters to a much deeper level. But the Toy Story comics, they do have their charm and they do tackle some interesting ideas, but just briefly. One is what it means to be a toy, which could lead to an existential crisis, and the other is what it means to be a toy in the social media era, which seemingly is the topic of Toy Story 5. When you think too deep, life of the living toys can be very sad, but again they were just covered in a surface level.